Today I want to share one of the most powerful tools I know for self-healing, which is how to get started with personifying the subconscious mind. In future videos, I'll talk about how to reprogram painful memories and actually work with it. But for today, for now, we're just going to get to know it. As Freud said, so much of human behavior is driven by our subconscious. It's like the conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg, but underneath the surface, there's all sorts of patterns, all sorts of conditioning, all sorts of memories going back to mom and dad, to school and teachers. Your whole upbringing is encoded in your mind. It's a simple observation in neuroscience that when some trigger is activated, one part of the brain lights up, and when another trigger gets activated, another part of the brain lights up, right? It's like my issues around money are different than my issues around social anxiety, are different than my issues around anger and depression. It's different parts of oneself that are almost frozen in time. And so this practice of building rapport is a way to bridge back to those parts. And it matters on the neuroscience side too, because if you think about it, say that scared inner child who completely freaks out anytime anyone gets mad. Imagine that's a neural network that's been hiding in a defensive crouch for the last 10, 20, 30 years of your life, waiting to come up and keep you safe when it happens again, right? And so that knee-jerk response is what makes people so confusing, because when we get triggered, we're not really responding to what's in front of our face anymore. We're responding to a painful memory in the past that's resonating with whatever we're experiencing in the now. And so that means that if we can actually go straight to the root and release it, then whatever craziness life throws at us, we'll be able to respond more appropriately. It's not about don't ever get angry, don't ever get upset, don't have boundaries. No, it's about calibrating appropriately based on what's actually in front of your face. If you never investigate your triggers and let them take over completely, basically what happens is that you have your normal personality, blah, 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 blah. And then every once in a while, your inner child comes out and goes, blah, blah, and then hides away again. And it's very confusing and painful for everyone involved. And so instead of that, we're actually saying, take the blah, 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 and focus it towards the inner child. See how that part of yourself responds when it's not under duress, but when you're coming with love and appreciation and healing. And then what happens is that scared part is able to pass more information back to your conscious mind, and your conscious mind is able to pass more information back to that scared part in the past. It builds connectivity between neural networks that would otherwise be relatively disconnected. So that process of building rapport is going to be your best friend with this. In an earlier video, I shared how to create safety within, a very simple visualization meditation to just use that mind-body connection to see the impact you can have on your own nervous system. The essence is this: you simply close your eyes and imagine that you're somewhere in nature, somewhere that you love. It can be a mishmash of all your favorite places. If you're not a nature person, it could be a penthouse on top of a skyscraper with really good armed guards all around, whatever you need to feel safe. What's important is the underlying function, not the actual form. It's just a way to create a boundary in your own psyche where you can feel safe. And so here's the meditation, here's the technique. Visualize yourself in a safe space. Feel that connection. Feel that safety. Look out. Maybe it's in nature. And from there, call in your inner child. You can imagine younger you appearing in front of you, walking out of the forest or whatever. The point is just to introduce your conscious self, introduce your adult self to that subconscious part of you that's still a child. You're building connection between an old neural network and a new one. Now, your inner teenager, at least my inner teenager, is a little bit more cagey, right? The inner child is like, oh, yeah, you're the adult version of me from the future. Awesome, I've been waiting for you. The child has an openness, has a natural appreciation for the mystery. Whereas the adolescent is much more skeptical of authority. It's much more like, what you coming in for? Like, no. Don't try to control me, right? And so if you come in with any agenda for your inner child, it might work out okay, but any agenda for your inner teenager, you're gonna get bounced out. And so when finding your inner teenager, it could mean, in your safe space, it could just mean yelling out into the woods, being like, hey, young Chris, I know you're out there, and I just want to say it's going to be okay, man. I just want to say you're loved. I just want to say you don't have to imitate anyone else's shtick. Be your own person. Find out what that's like, right? In the simplest sense, building rapport with your inner teenager can just mean broadcasting messages that you wish you heard earlier into your own subconscious. And over time, that'll create a space where that more cagey, skeptical part is free to show itself and learns to trust. And if you're in your meditation and you're able to visualize your inner teenager walking up and joining you just as your inner child might, phenomenal. And once that inner teenager is there, just ask some questions. How are you? What's going on? What should I know? Like, is there anything for me that you want? Don't just try to force it into feeling or healing some painful thing from the past. So this meditation alone, introducing yourself to your inner child, introducing yourself to your inner teenager, is plenty. It's a very powerful tool to just start building rapport with oneself. You might notice an increase in emotional intelligence or fluidity in the hours or days after, or you might not really notice much of anything, but maybe you feel something. Maybe you just feel a glimmer of change. That's fine. It's building the foundation that we're doing here. So that's part one, building rapport with the different parts of yourself. And it's so worth it because so much of the time when people are challenged or triggered, it's so intense that they don't even know where to start. So this process of building more inner connection within yourself, cultivating more understanding of yourself, creates a new space for freedom inside. And just this is enough to get some changes, because just this frees you to be more intimate with your own self. And that ability to go inside and see what's happening, to feel what's happening, without having a big agenda, without having any healing project to do in your mind, but just to go in honest and open and say, hey, what's up, Chris? Oh yeah, it's that. Okay, I see. You're building a deeper relationship with yourself. And that's the foundation for a deeper relationship with life, everyone, and everything in it. And so enjoy. In the next video, we'll talk about how to work with painful memories, how to rewire them, how to create more peace and freedom in your own mind. But for now, just go inside. Make friends with yourself. Slow down and honor your own mind, wherever it is right now. And I promise you, when you love yourself in that way, it'll create a space for much more elegant, beautiful and successful transformation than would happen if you just tried to force yourself. Move with grace. Move with care and with love. Don't treat your inner child as a dog that you're like dragging down the street trying to come with you. No. Slow down. Find out what's going on inside. And give yourself some love right now. And once you've built that rapport inside, I expect that you'll see a difference, because the safer you are with yourself, the more honest you can be with yourself, the more loving you can be with yourself, the easier it becomes to be safe, honest, and loving with everyone around you. Thanks for watching. Let me know how it goes. See you in the next video.